In order to learn long division when we divide polynomials by binomials, like 2a, like this one, we need to review long division like you learned in elementary school. So if you watch this video, it will give you some good instructions, so watch it. Alright, now that you've watched it, you should understand what daddy, mommy, sister, brother stands for, and that's what we're going to use to help us. When we try to divide 3 by 5, we know that we get a decimal. So we'll divide 31 by 5. And the biggest number we get is 6. So we divided. Now we're going to multiply. 6 times 5 is 30. Now we're going to subtract. 31 minus 30 is 1. Now we bring down the 5. 5 goes into 15, so we're back to the dividing stage. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Now we multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract. We get 0. There's nothing else to bring down, and we don't have a remainder. So the answer there is 63. Now let's try that same process with 2a. What we're going to do is divide just the first parts. So we're going to divide 2x squared just by the x. When we do that, off to the side, 2x squared divided by x leaves us with 2x. So that's what we'll write on top. So we've divided. Now we need to multiply. 2x times x is 2x squared. And we also need to multiply the 2x by 2. So 2x times 2 is 4x. Now we can subtract. So 7x minus 4x is 3x, and 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. Now we will bring down the 7. It's a positive 7. And we start the process over. So let's divide just the first terms. 3x divided by just that first x. When we divide those, we get 3. So that's what we'll put up top, and it's positive, so I'll put a plus 3. Now we multiply. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 2 is 6, positive 6. Now we subtract. 7 minus 6 is 1, and 3x minus 3x cancels out. There's nothing else to bring down, and we're not going to worry about getting a decimal for our remainder, but what we will do is we'll write our remainder as a fraction. It will be 1, so we'll write plus 1 over x plus 2. So that's the final answer, 2x plus 3 plus 1 over x plus 2. Now we'll try it again. This time we have to write the problem ourselves by putting the 20 out front, making the divide sign, and putting the 45, 65 on the inside. Notice I left some room up above it so that we could fit our final answer. So first, let's see if we can divide. 4 divided by 20 gives us a decimal, so let's do 45 divided by 20. When we figure that out, 45 divided by 20, the most 20 can go in is twice. Now we multiply. 2 times 20 is 40. Now we subtract. 45 minus 40 is 5. Now we bring down. We'll bring down the 6. So we figure out how many times 20 goes into 56, or in other words, 56 divided by 20. When we do that, we get about 2 point something. So we put a 2 up top. 2 times 20 is 40. And now we subtract. 56 minus 40 is 16, and we bring down. So now we have to figure out what is 165 divided by 20, or in other words, how many times does 20 go into 165? And this time we get 8. So we put 8 on top, we multiply. 8 times 20 is 160, and we subtract. 165 minus 160 is 5. There's nothing else to bring down, so we will write our remainder, which is 5 over 20. Or we could reduce that to 228 and 1/4. If you divided that on a calculator, you would get 228.25. Let's try this example. I've already rewritten it with a 3x plus 1 out front and everything inside the parentheses underneath. So let's go ahead and do the first step, which is to divide just the first term and the first term. So we're figuring out 15x squared divided by 3x. When we simplify that, we get 5x. So up top, we'll put 5x. So we have divided. Now we need to multiply. 5x times 3x is 15x squared, and 5x times 1 is 5x. Now we need to subtract. So 8x minus 5x is 3x, and 15x squared minus 15x squared cancels out. Next we need to bring down. That's a negative 12 that we're going to bring down, and we start the process over. So first we divide just the first term by the first term. So 3x divided by 3x is going to be 1. So up top, we're going to put plus 1 because it's positive, and we're going to multiply. 1 times 3x is 3x, and 1 times 1 is 1, and now we subtract. So be very careful. Negative 12 minus 1 is negative 13, and 3x minus 3x cancels out. We don't have anything else to bring down, so we're done. We just need to write a remainder. It's negative, so we'll put minus 13 over the 3x plus 1. And we're done. So 5x plus 1 minus 13 over 3x plus 1 is the final answer. Another regular long division problem. First we'll divide. If we try to divide 1 by 3, we'll get a decimal, so let's divide 19 by 3. The biggest number we get out of that is 6, so we'll put the 6 right above the 19. Now we multiply. 6 times 3 is 18, and now we subtract. 19 minus 18 is 1, and now we bring down. We'll bring down the 8. So next we go back to the beginning. We're going to divide 18 by 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6, so we'll put a 6 above the 8. Now we multiply. 6 times 3 is 18. Now we subtract. 18 minus 18 is 0, and we bring down. We bring down the 5. So we go back to dividing. 5 divided by 3. The most times 3 goes in is 1 time, so we'll put that above the 5. 1 times 3 is 3, and we multiplied. Now we subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2, and we bring down. Bring down the 6. So now we have to go back to the beginning again and divide. 26 divided by 3. So I'll do this up here, I guess. 26 divided by 3. The most times it goes in is 8. So we'll put an 8 above the 6, and we will multiply. 8 times 3 is 24. So we'll write that. Now we subtract. 26 minus 24 is 2. And there's nothing else to bring down, which means our remainder for our answer, 6,618 and 2 over 3 and 2/3. If you typed that division problem in the calculator, you'd get 6,618.67, which is 2/3. And we're done. There's one important thing that I haven't pointed out until now, and that is the number underneath your big division sign needs to be in standard form with no skips in the exponents. If there are any skips, we're going to put a 0 in the place. So let me show you how to rewrite this. We'll put the x plus 2 out front like we normally do, and underneath inside we'll put the 3x to the 4th. The x to the 3rd comes next. But see how we skip x to the 2nd? If we had it, it'd be right there. So we'll put 0 x to the 2nd. Now we'll continue with 5x to the 1st, and then last the minus 1. Now it's all set for us to do everything the same as we were doing before. So we'll start out with dividing the first term by the first term. So 3x to the 4th divided by x is 3x to the 3rd. So that's what we'll put up top. Now we multiply. 3x to the 3rd times x is 3x to the 4th. And we also multiply 3x to the 3rd times 2. That is positive 6x to the 3rd. Now we subtract. Negative 1 minus 6 is negative 7x to the 3rd. And 3x to the 4th minus 3x to the 4th cancels out. Next we bring down. We're going to bring down 0x squareds. And we start the process over. We'll divide the first term and the first term. So negative 7x to the 3rd divided by the x. That will give us negative 7x to the 2nd, because 3 minus 1 is 2. So we'll put that up here, minus 7x squared, and we will multiply. Negative 7x squared times x is negative 7x to the 3rd, and negative 7x squared times 2, negative 7 times 2, is negative 14x squared. So we will subtract 0 minus negative 14, minus a negative turns into positive 14x squared. And negative 7 minus negative 7 is really like negative 7 plus 7, and those cancel out. So we subtracted, and now we need to bring down the next term, which is 5x. So we start again. We will divide the first term by the first term. So 14x squared divided by x is 14x. So that's what we'll put up top. It's positive 14x, and now we multiply. 14x times x is 14x squared. 14x times 2 is 28x. Now we subtract. So we have 5 minus 28 is negative 23x, and 14x squared minus 14x squared cancels out. Last, we need to bring down. The last thing we have to bring down is a minus 1. So we're back to the beginning, and we will have, let me scoot this up, we will have negative 23x divided by the first term, which was x, and that will give us negative 23. So that's what we'll put up top, minus 23. Now we need to multiply. Negative 23 times x is negative 23x, and negative 23 times 2 is negative 46. Now we subtract. Negative 1 minus negative 46 is really like negative 1 plus 46. So that gives us positive 45. And then negative 23 minus negative 23 cancels out. There's nothing else to bring down. We have the 45 that's positive for the remainder. So up top for our answer, we'll put plus 45 over the x plus 2. So the final answer to this problem is 3x to the third minus 7x squared plus 14x minus 23 plus 45 over x plus 2.